Welcome to your math lesson for the week and your last math lesson of your high school career. How does that sound? I seriously just can't believe that graduation week is here and this is your last week of high school. And I know if I can't believe it, you guys really can't believe it, and I know your family really can't believe it. So congratulations for making it. I am so incredibly proud of you guys, and I cannot wait to be able to celebrate you when we finally get to have a graduation. So this week we are going to finish up our unit on counting bills. This week we are going to continue counting in patterns, this time in the patterns of 5s and 1s, and then we're going to work on counting different bills together. So first, for Monday, your assignment is to do these first 4 pages. First, we are going to do mixed bills, adding 5 patterns. So we're adding a $5 bill. And what you're going to do, and when you do your assignment, you can freeze or pause this video so you can see to make sure your answers are correct. But this should be pretty easy, or much easier than last week, because we're just counting by 5s. And I know because we practice in class, so you guys know how to count by 5s very easily. So we're starting at 230 here. You're just going to count by 5s. 235, 240, 245, 250, 255, 260, 265. The next one is 450. We're going to go to 455, 460, 465, 470, 475, 480, 490, and so on. So I want you guys to do this page. If you can't print it out, do it on a separate sheet of paper, and then pause this video so you can see if you got your answers right. And you're going to do the same thing on both pages. This next page is also counting by $5 bills. And the same thing, they're going to tell you what number to start at, and you're just going to add 5 every time. So I'll do the first one with you. We started at 180. We're going to 185, 190, 195, 200, 205, 210, 215. So you guys can go ahead and pause this to check your answers once you've completed doing it on your own. And the next one is super easy because it's just counting by 1s. And I know you all know how to do that. And it's so easy, in fact, that I didn't even write the answers on any of the ones below because I know you know how to do this. So you're going to do the same thing. They're telling you what number to start at. You're starting at $445 and you're going to add $1 each time. So it's 445, 446, 447, 448, 449, 450, 451, 452. And on this page, they give you little answers to make sure you're on the right track. And on the next page, you're going to do the same thing. Again, I just did the top row for you. So they started at 285. We went to 286, 287, 288, 289, 290, 291, 292. You're going to do that for all of the ones below. Okay? That is Tuesday's work. Wednesday, it's going to be a little bit different. What we're going to do is practice counting up using mixed bills. And we did this in the coin unit where we're trying to get to a certain number using the least amount of bills. So for example, I'll show you. The first one, they have all these different bills here. I think it starts at 100, then a 50, then a 20, and a 20, and a 10, and a 5, and a 1. And what they want you to do is get to $15 with the least amount of bills. There's a couple of different ways that I could get to $15. I could do 15 ones if I wanted. I could do 3 $5 bills if I wanted, 5, 10, 15. I could do 5, 10, 2 $5 bills, and 5 ones. But all those are going to require a lot of bills, and especially if you're working at a store, you're going to want to give change back with the least amount of bills possible. So that's what we're practicing to do here. So for the first one, and also let me go back and say, the easiest way to do it is to start high and work your way down and see what the highest bill you can do to get that number. So let's make that make sense. So we have 15 here. 100 is the highest bill we have, but that's too high. 100 is bigger than 15. We have 50. 50 is bigger than 15, so we can't use that bill. We have a 20. These are both 20s. 20 is bigger than 15, so we can't use that. The next highest bill is a 10. Well, yes, we can use a 10 because that's less than 15. So I circled that. And the next highest bill is a 5. Well, a 10 plus a 5 is 15. Oh, so there we go. The least amount of bills to get 15 is 1 10 and 1 5. So for the next number, it's 45. 100 is too big. A 50 is just a little bit too big. Can a 20 go into 40? Yeah. Can another 20 go into 40? Yep. So we have 20, 40, and then we have $5 left. A 10 is too big because that would make us 50, so it would just be a 5. So you're going to do the same one for all these, and I'll just go actually over all of them for you. 125. Oh, that's a big number. Can 100 go into 125? Yep. So we have 100 down, so we have 25 to go. 50 is too big for 25, so we're not going to use that. 20 goes into 25, so we'll use that. So now we have 120. We've got to get to 125, so we have $5 left. Well, what's the bill we would use? A $5 bill. Next we have 31. 100 is too big, a 50 is too big. Can 20 go into 31? Yep, it's less than. So we have 20. Now we got to get to 31. So we have $11 left. 20 plus 20 is 40, so that's not going to work. 20 plus 10 is 30. Oh, I can do that. Now I just have $1 left, so I'm going to use a $1 bill. 20, 30, 1. And down here we have $60. So 100 is too big. 50 is less than 60, so I'm going to use a 50. And 60 minus 50 is 10, so I have $10 left. Well, what bill could I use? A 10. So a 50 and a 10 is 60. And you're going to do that same thing on the next 2 pages actually. And I am just going to hold this here. I have the answers on here. So I want you to do it on your own, either on paper or just if you have it on your iPad, just pull it up and practice yourself. And then you can come back and check your answers. So you can freeze this. And then I'll show you the next page and you can freeze the next page to get your answers. All right. Now we're going to do some fun stuff for Thursday. You're going to practice adding up mixed bills. So they gave us some money here and we have to add them up. And I'm going to show you the strategy that I think will be easiest for you guys. And there's 2 different ways you can do it. So I'll show you the 2 different ways. So right here, we have a 50, a 20, and a 10. So one way you could do it is right here, where I just put all the bills together and add them up. 50 plus 20 plus 10. So I do this side first. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. And then 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 1 is 8. So I have $80. So that's one way you could do it. You could also do it with your bills. So when we start with the biggest bill first, always when we're counting, So 50 is the biggest, so I'm going to do 50 plus 20 is 70. So I did 50 plus 20 is 70. 70 plus 10 is 80. So the answer is $80. The next one, I just did the same strategy again. I had $100. I added a 20, which made 120. And then we added a 5, which makes 125. We added a 1, which makes 126. We added a 1, which makes 127. So you could use that strategy, or you could add them up like I did on the first one. And then finally, the last one, we have 100 plus 100 is 200. 200 plus 20 is 220. 220 plus 20 is 240. 240 plus 5 is 245. And 245 plus 1 is 246. So the answer is 246. And make sure when you're adding that you always start with the biggest bill. It's much harder to start with like a $1 and work your way up because it's going to give you a lot of uneven numbers, and those are harder to count together. So on the next page, we're going to do the same thing. On the first one, I showed you the 2 different strategies. You pick which one works best for you. So over here, I added them all up. I had a $50 bill, a $50 bill, a $10 bill, and a $5 bill. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, or 5, excuse me, is 5. And then 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So I carried the 1. 1, 1, 5, 1, 15. Or I can do it this way. 50 plus 50 is 100. 100 plus 10 is 110. 110 plus 5 is 115. So our answer is $115. For this one, we started with 20. We have 20 plus 20 is 40. 40 plus 20 is 60. 60 plus 5 is 65. 65 plus 1 is 66. 66 plus 1 is 67. For number 6, we have a $100 bill. We'll start with, it's the biggest one. Then we're going to add 20. It's 120. 120 plus 10 is 130. 130 plus 10 is 140. 140 plus 5 is 145. And then we have one more of these. Guys, this is such good practice for you. Such good practice for you. And I also encourage you to use any dollars you have at home to help this as well, so you're actually touching the money. All right, so again, on the first one, I give you the 2 different strategies. We have a 10, a 5, and a 1. So I did 10, 5, 5, 1. 0 plus 5 plus 5 plus 1 is 11. So I put a 1 down there. It carried my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So the total was $21. We'll do it on this side too. We have a 10 plus a 5 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. 20 plus 1 is 21. Down here we have a 50 to start off with. 50 plus 20 is 70. 70 plus 5 is 75. See, if we would have done that backwards, it would be harder. We would have started with 5 plus 20 is 25. 25 plus 50 is 75. I can do that, but it's much easier to start with bigger and working down. Especially when you have ones in there. If I started with a 1 and I did 1 plus 5 is 6, 6 plus 5. Oh, that's not easy as saying 5, 10. I have to really think about that. 6 plus 5, oh, that's 11. Plus 10 is, and actually I just did that whole thing wrong. Oh yeah, 21. That's just harder. See, I even got confused. So always start with your biggest one down. So finally the last one, we start with 50. We add another 50, that gives us 100. 100 plus 50 is 150. 150 plus 20 is 170. 170 plus 20 is 190. So I have $190. So that's your Thursday homework. Friday is a little bit harder because, guess what? They're all jumbled up. So on this one, on the last one, they gave us the biggest bill first, so they did the hard work for us. This time we have to find the biggest bill ourselves. So what I did for each problem was like on number 1, I looked for my biggest bill. Okay, I saw my biggest bill is a 20. I then put a check mark there to know I've already used that bill. And I put a, oh, I'm sorry. See, I wasn't even looking right. The biggest bill I had was a 50. So I crossed off 50, put 50 first. Then my next biggest bill is a 20. I crossed that off so I don't use that one again. Put a 20. My next biggest was a 10, then a 5, then a 1. So I added them up here to get $86. I did the same thing for number 2. I had 100, that was my biggest. 20 was my second biggest, 5 was my third biggest, 125. For number 3, I looked around, noticed 100 was my biggest, so I put a check mark there because I used that, so I put 100 up top. Then my next biggest was a 50, so then I put a 50, checked that off so I don't use it again. Then I had a 20, checked that off so I don't use it again, then a 5 to give me 175. And then for this one down here, the biggest bill I had was a 50, so I did a 50 first, checked that off. Then I had 2 20s, so I crossed off both of those and put a 20 and a 20, and then a 1 to give me $91. Okay, and then same thing on this page. For number 5, my biggest bill was a 50. So I put a 50 up here. Actually, I had 2 50s, so I put 2 50s. Cross those off so I don't use them again. Then my next one is a 20. Check that off, put a 20 there. Then a 10, and then a 5. I've used all 5 bills, and I can even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I got all the bills. Now I can add it together. That total was 135. For number 6, I had 3 20s, so I put 20, 20, 20, and then I had a 5, which gave me $65. For number 7, I have 3 bills. 100 was my biggest, 20 second biggest, 5 third biggest to give us 125. Sorry, I didn't write it down there, but the answer is right up here. And then down here we had a 50, a 20, a 10, and 2 1s to give us $82. Guys, this is hard. This is complicated, so take your time with this and practice. Keep practicing and keep practicing and you'll get it. Finally, the last page, number 9, my biggest bill was a 50, and then I had a 5 and 3 1s that gave me $58. Number 10, I had $200 bills, so I put 100 and 100, then a 20 and a 5 to give me $225. Number 11 was an $100 bill, a 20, a 5, and a 5 to give us $130. And number 12, I had 3 50s, so I did 50, 50, 50, and 20 is $170. So that is your last math lesson for the week. I know this is hard, guys. Reach out to me if you are having problems with this. I'd be happy to work with you through Teams, or you can give me a call, or when we have our class Zoom meeting, you can talk about it there. I want to make sure you're getting this because in most, well, not most jobs, but there are a lot of jobs where you're going to have to be able to use money, handle money, and you're always going to have to do it when you go to the store to buy stuff for yourself. So it's so important you know how to do this. So practice, practice, practice this. Okay, guys? I hope you have a great day. Like I said, reach out if you need any help. See you later.